It's no secret that the Detroit Lions defense last year was terrible. To say that it's still going to be terrible this season would be very wrong, though. The Detroit defense has been completely overhauled, and I'm going to break down why that side of the ball should be a lot of fun this year. Let's get into it. For starters, the Lions had one of the best free agencies in the league. General Manager Brad Holmes saw the clear defensive need, and he aggressively went after players to fix that. The secondary was the biggest hole, and he signed cornerbacks Cameron Sutton from the Steelers and Emmanuel Moseley from the 49ers, plus safety nickel CJ Gardner-Johnson from the Eagles. Let's have a quick look at each. Sutton has consistently graded out among the top cover corners in the league, and is constantly dependable and has a high football IQ. Moseley has struggled to stay healthy throughout his career, but when he's on the field, you'll see him play like a legitimate cornerback one. He's seriously good. The cheap price tag was due to health issues. Gardner-Johnson's name speaks for itself, but to give a little background info, he tied for the league lead in picks despite missing games, and was one of the most impactful guys on a stacked Eagles defense. He's young, versatile, and just a really good player overall. The Lions had a somewhat unconventional draft, but most fans have come around to it by now, including myself. They got plenty of good players at positions of need, but referring to the defense specifically, they drafted linebacker Jack Campbell from Iowa, safety Ryan Branch from Alabama, and defensive tackle Brodric Martin from Western Kentucky. Campbell is a massive and strong frame, but he's still quick on his feet, athletic, and good in coverage. If he translates to the league, he looks like the next Luke Kuechly. Branch, on the other hand, is a versatile defensive back. He may have been the best tackler in the draft and can give you production at deep safety, out of the slot, in run defense, and more. He might not be super flashy, but he's going to be getting it done in Detroit for years to come. I also thought Martin deserved a mention. He's an absolute monster of a man on the interior defensive line, and he's going to be eating up blocks and stopping running backs dead in their tracks for years, although I'm not sure if he's going to be 100% ready right away. Not only did the Lions make some awesome additions, their existing players will be even better. Guys like Kerby Joseph, Aidan Hutchinson, Malcolm Rodriguez, and James Houston were only rookies last year, and if that's not exciting, I don't know what is. Players often take big jumps from year 1 to year 2 as they really settle into the NFL, and I can see each of these guys making some significant progress. Other guys like OLB McNeil, who's been having a killer offseason, are also on breakout watch. There's just so much young talent and potential on this team, and it's going to be a blast watching them realize it. So we've established that the team added a lot of defensive talent in the offseason. Let's quickly rewind to the second half of last season, though, when the Lions went on a hot streak. Right before the turnaround, Detroit fired its errant defensive backs coach Aubrey Pleasant, and in retrospect, it looks like he was a massive part of the problem. The defense, which had previously been downright horrendous, actually didn't look that bad over the last several weeks. Obviously, it did still struggle a fair amount, not in small part because it plainly did lack talent, but it was vastly improved and turned in some nice performances. Some highlights of this are as follows: holding the Packers to 9 points, forcing 3 turnovers and holding Saquon Barkley to 1.5 yards per carry in a 2-score win over the Giants, holding the Jaguars to 14 points, holding the Bears to 10 points, and holding the Packers to 16 points, forcing 2 turnovers and stopping the game-winning drive from Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, it was still hardly a good defense, but they took massive strides without an influx of new talent, and that on its own is very encouraging. With all that said, I think it's time to look at the final defensive starters for this year, at least as I project them. The defensive line is going to be Aidan Hutchinson and James Houston at either end, with Isaiah Buggs and OLB McNeil on the interior. Obviously, Josh Pascal and John Kaminsky will see a lot of snaps off the edge, but just for depth chart purposes here, I think Hutchinson and Houston are your 2 starting ends. At linebacker, we have Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone. Malcolm Rodriguez will see plenty of action, but I don't see Anzalone, the veteran captain of the defense, getting benched, and I think Jack Campbell is going to be an instant impact starter right away. Cornerback 1 is Cameron Sutton, cornerback 2 is Emmanuel Moseley, and the slot corner is CJ Gardner-Johnson. Jerry Jacobs provides great competition for Moseley and will also see the field a lot. Your safeties are Tracy Walker, returning from injury, and rising star Kerby Joseph. There are your starting 11 on the reshaped Lions defense. For reference, here are the previous starters. I'd say the team upgraded at the very least at all 3 cornerback spots. They also got a boost at safety with the return of Tracy Walker, and probably upgraded at linebacker as well. Now, I see this being a defense in the top half of the league, honestly. I'm not going to get crazy and say it's a top 10 or top 5 group, but it's looking very solid. In order to make the leap to top 10, I think Detroit needs one more impact piece on the defensive line, but for now, top half of the league seems pretty likely. Given all these new additions, player progression, and a full offseason under defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, and without problematic DB's coach Aubrey Pleasant, this group could do some fun things in 2023. All that being said, I think that is going to do it for today's video. If you're still watching, leave a lion emoji in the comments to let me know you made it this far. As always, I appreciate all the support given to me, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.